Have you met your neighbours yet?
Yeah, we do.
And do you get on with them?
It's different now. I think our generation, the whole neighbourly thing is gone. Really.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it?
We don't talk. I don't know.
I made friends with my neighbour.
Yeah, we don't. It's not like I remember like growing up in my town.
Also shout out because she's fucking awesome. She's lovely. She's absolutely lovely. And I've got 2 gay guys on the left. I'm like, yes, it's gonna be the best. Like, it's the single guy in the middle, and there's me like, it's the prelude to a sitcom because we got a really, really beautiful couple who are like really successful on, opposite me, and to my left is like 2 gay guys who I cannot wait to meet. I really hope they're not dicks, but yeah, I'm so excited about it, and I think that's because I'm quite sociable, but I don't know. I mean, like, but you were just saying, like, do you even know what the names are?
So yeah, as I was saying, like going back to like living with in my mom's block, your neighbours knew you from young, and they know stuff about you, and you're like, oh, that's so and so, and that's so and so. But like, yeah, since like living my last flat and living this flat, you don't really interact with each other like that. You see each other in the corridor maybe, and you be like, hi, and then that's it.
I feel weird if I was to knock on my neighbour's door and be like, can I watch TV with you guys?
The new thing we have is...
I'm going to do it, but still.
The new thing we have is like a Facebook group. We have like a Facebook group for the building.
Taking everything online sucks.
Yeah. So anytime we want to interact with each other for whatever reason, like somebody in my building...
Complaining or something.
Somebody in my building yesterday, I think broke their toilet seat. So they're like, oh, do you know the model number of our toilet seats? So
I mean, that's useful, yeah.
So
but, I guess it's like... And also it's a lot... If you're busy, then it's useful. But I think, though, that... it's such a shame that people don't knock on each other's doors randomly anymore.
I don't know.
You have to like text ahead or something like that, and it's like, why not just?
I think we've become more introverted. Like
which I hate that.
For me, that works for me because I'm also an introvert. But I mean, I would hate for my neighbours to be knocking on my door.
I wouldn't mind at all. I'd be like, that. I mean, obviously, like if you're in the middle of, if you got the missus round or something like that, and you're in the middle of something, we're having a romantic evening in, you don't want to have to put a tie on your own front door, but at the same time, like. I'd hate it if my neighbours felt like they couldn't just, if I could hear my neighbour crying through the wall for some, about something, or if they needed sugar that they felt they couldn't come over, or the idea that we're not going to be friends as well. I think that, but the thing is that potentially I'm going to live not with these people, but I'm going to be living in the same floor as these people for the next 3 to 5 years. So I've got to learn to get along with them either way.
It depends though.
But they were saying they had parties and no one complains, and it's great, and they're quite a young couple. They're like sort of 35 to 30 to 40. They're lovely people, and I've converted a van, and this girl was telling me about how her boyfriend really, really, really wants to do that. So I'm going to make friends with him that way. And yeah, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to that. But I think that I make shit first impressions. So I'm worried about that now. Yeah, exactly. I mean, who's this big black guy? Oh, slap me now. But so I take a little while to get to know me, and because I get nervous at first, and then it's like, but so I'm really hoping that they have the patience to understand that.
I remember.
I think I'm a dick.
I did used to like the whole neighbour thing when I was a kid, though, because I grew up in a big tower block with.
I'm still friends with the neighbour from mine.
I grew up in a big tower block with like 23 floors with over 100 flats. So I remember like all the kids around my age used to like hang out with each other. So I had like my next door neighbour, shout out to Lola.
Hey Lola.
Yeah, and her little sister Lara. We used to hang out with each other. Nigerian family. I used to be at their house all the time, hanging out.
Yeah.
And then I have my neighbour below, Andrew. Used to hang out with him as well. And then the neighbour above, and then
I don't think that children nowadays will be that sociable.
I was hanging around with people. I lived on the 7th floor, so I was hanging around with people from the 5th to the 9th floor.
Yeah. And your mum wouldn't worry. Yeah. It wouldn't be like, "Where's Marlon?" Oh, he's probably up next door. Yeah. And I think that nowadays it would be like, because of technology, everyone kind of is a bit more tethered to each other, but from primary. And I think, though, that as a swim teacher, it's something that came up this morning, actually, because I was teaching before this. Kids nowadays, there we go, there's that line. Kids now, but people are like sort of increasingly more suspicious in a weird way. It's that hostility and that lack of, the reason that one of my best friends, Will, and I are still, friends is because he lived up the road. And that was it, because we're the only 2 families of kids that were on that road. Everyone else was a bit elderly. And I think that
the thing that you can't really...
It shapes your childhood, though.
You can't really blame parents nowadays. Like, there's a lot of fucked up people in this world.
Yeah, but there always were.
Yeah,
there always will be.
You think so?
Look at the Mongols. Look what happened with the Mongol hordes. They came through and slaughtered
No, I mean, I'm talking about in the UK. Like, I'm not talking about like throughout history. I'm talking about like,
but, like there's always going
to be used to be able to like play out in the street. Used to be able to do all of that.
Yeah, but you still can. It's just that people don't because they're scared. And I think though,
do you think it's
also because there's more cars nowadays. But
do you think it is as bad now, or do you think?
No, I think that people are more aware of stuff, but they're more attuned to dangers, and there always were those dangers. But
do you think it was at the same level, or is it worse?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always going to be perverts. You're always going to have paedophiles. You're always going to have people in society that don't work well. So you think you just need to keep an eye on people who you don't like.
Do you think when we were growing up, there was just as many paedophiles and
absolutely,
and all those
absolutely.
Type of
people. I mean, the Catholic Church seems to have had a good time getting away with it. So yeah, I think that there was that, but there was less of acknowledgement or less knowledge of it.
But now those facts have been highlighted, do you blame the parents for like trying to remove their kids from those situations?
No, I mean, like, obviously you're not gonna. I mean, my measure of whether or not I like a politician, for example, is would I let them babysit my child? I don't have a child yet, but my fictional child would let them babysit. And to be honest with you, not a single one of them passes the test, apart from maybe 2. But that's it. But the thing is, though, that but that's.
I was listening to a podcast years ago, and I can't remember what the name of it was, but he said when he has kids, the podcaster said is he's not letting any man around his kids. Doesn't matter.
How are they supposed to get male role models that aren't just him?
He said it doesn't matter if they're his brother, his dad, his uncle, his friend.
I mean, just because you're a man doesn't mean you're a rapist.
But he said because he said so many like women, so many people that have been molested by their uncle or their granddad and all that.
But that is incredible.
And he said like it might seem harsh and the people might not like me for it, but I want to guarantee that my kid doesn't get molested. And that's what he said.
Well, teach them stranger danger. Teach them what molestation is, and then teach them what is and isn't right. That's the thing.
Part of me was like, oh, that's a bit extreme. But then part of me is like, but if you do make sure that your kid doesn't get abused by somebody, do you really care if you upset somebody or been ridiculous?
No, I mean
that's the whole aim.
Equally though, I mean it just depends because you're also stopping them from making friends with people. Like for the sake of an unknown danger, you're stopping them from making. Because I mean, like 99% of people are right-minded. We like to think. I mean, then again, I've also been on porn, on Pornhub, and there's a lot of stuff about incest on that. It's weird. It is weird. It's like the homepage on that thing. I mean, I don't tend to go for that, but anyway, let's not go there. The point is that it's just it's creepy. But the thing is that what I'm trying to get at before I got sidetracked there was, I think that. You're as likely to be groomed on the internet, if not more so, because it's safer for a paedophile to do it that way. You've also got people who, I mean, I've got a girl I was seeing a while back. She had a situation with her uncle actually, where he was a little bit of a creep, and it wasn't her biological uncle, but it was her married, a guy who married in, and and he would like she was having a shower at the age of 14 or something, and this arsehole came upstairs and just sort of lingered, like opened the door even though he knew she was showering, and just stared at her and looked her up and down, and then closed the door after 6 seconds, which is fucked up. And it's stuff like that, but it's just like, and it's like, I mean, it's everyone's worst nightmare to be accused of something like that as well. And it's like my dad said, my cousin was staying with my parents for a while, and she was stealing from us. She stole money out of my dad's wallet, which is really sad because my dad was getting her, they all got her a job and stuff like that. I said to Dad, I was like, well, might you do something about this? And he goes, all she has to do is turn around and say, oh, sometimes Uncle Julian touches me, and I am fucked. I am fucked. And I'm like, but you don't. And he goes, I know I don't. So there's that fear. It works 2 ways. And obviously Dad would never do anything like that. And I know, I'm not even gonna entertain the idea that Dad would ever do anything bad. But that's the point, though. It's just that all it takes is an allegation, and the next thing you know, is your life's ruined. So I think that also but I think that it's about educating children about stranger danger, which is something that people don't do.
But the thing is, though, you can educate kids about stranger danger, but then so that they are pretty much aware when they've been molested. But do you want them to be molested?
No, but they won't be molested if they know, if they understand. Okay, so the problem with the danger is that like for example, I can walk in, if I walk down a road and not know what mines look like, and I press one, then it's going to blow me up. But so if you know what they look like, if you're able to recognise what is and isn't okay, and education comes into this in the same way that I wouldn't maybe pick some berries and eat them because I'm not sure what they are.
The thing is, though, it's not really even stranger danger. You're less likely to
It's more
likely to be somebody in your family or somebody.
Yeah, but then could you imagine if you isolated your child from your family full stop?
Yeah.
that would be way more detrimental. Well, no, I wouldn't say more detrimental, but it would be highly detrimental to their upbringing and their health. This is the most YouTube thing we're ever going to do.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed our video. Please do like and subscribe.